Hello, beautiful soul. Oh my goodness, what a week. Um, I shared I think I did an Ask Jacquie on Monday. So this week has really been almost an energetic and identity shifting, weird, healing, awakening, void. Like it's just been everything all rolled into one. I know we're at the end of Mercury retrograde. We are in a really powerful period of time with the spring equinox, where we are stepping into a really powerful portal for manifestation. And I know from having conversations with other people recently that have been on a healing journey that they've really felt a shift in this week alone. And I thought I would just come on here and share what's been going on for me because things have been coming up that I'm working through. I shared a story the other day that I had so many messages from people who are going through a very similar thing. So I literally shared a story of I don't know what it is, can't put my finger on it. There's not really anything to share other than things are coming up. I'm going through some stuff. Um, there's a kind of a void that I'm in at the moment, in that I know there's more available. I know that I've got things like blocks in my throat chakra. I know that I've got like this almost resistance from really being my full truest self. And I don't even know what that necessarily means. And anyone that's listening to this that hasn't been on like a healing journey, isn't into spiritual practices or awakenings or soul alignment, anything like that, you're going to think she's lost it now. She's absolutely lost it now. But for those of you that are into this is just where I'm at the moment. So the more I've learned about myself, the more I've realized why certain things have affected me, what has happened to me in the past, experiences, things that trigger me that aren't even mine to hold. They're not even beliefs that are mine. They're from past generation or past life trauma. And some of the things that have been coming up this week have been huge. And it's really helped me to shift things. And it's helped me to not get clarity. I wouldn't say I've got any form of clarity at the moment. It's kind of just all these different downloads coming in from different angles constantly. And the reason I am sat here with no makeup, I'm wearing my fleece. If you're watching this on video, I've made no effort for this in terms of a presentation thing. And the reason I've done that is because I know the power of what you wear. I know the power of you feeling your most aligned, most vibrant, confident version of you. And I know that happens for me when I do have styled hair, when I am wearing a bit of makeup, when I'm wearing clothes that make me feel really good. And actually, today, I'm not wearing any makeup. I haven't styled my hair. In fact, I'm on day 5 of having not washed my hair. Um, I'm wearing a fleece. Like, I'm just literally, this is just me. This is just full me. And I still feel confident. But the reason I'm wearing this today is because when I am wearing things or doing things that mean I'm almost masking an element of myself to feel confident instead of feeling confident in myself, it's a different energy. And whilst that energy is incredible for things like manifestation and for being seen and heard and for really stepping out of your comfort zone in a way that feels good and that will attract things to you, I'm a true believer that when you're going through these phases of like recalibration almost, that sometimes you do just need to allow more softness. So for me, wearing this fleece today, and almost I'm not hiding and I'm not even stepping back. I'm just being fully present in where I am right now. I'm not feeling the need to pull out like my favorite item of clothing that makes me feel amazing. Like I almost don't want that energy right now. I want to just be really in a neutral place to allow these downloads to come in, to really process what is coming up for me at the moment. And I just want to share something because I've been having some conversations with people recently in the entrepreneurial world where people have been triggered by things, issues have happened with friends or connections they've had. There's just been a lot going on. It's really interesting because as an entrepreneur, I've experienced things like copying, gaslight, not necessarily gaslighting, but I've experienced like negative things happening in my journey. It's never impacted me until last year when I had a situation with somebody who was a friend that made me feel less than. It completely triggered me, and it basically, I would say it broke me, or it cracks me open, because when I was in that state last summer, and I actually recorded a podcast episode when I was kind of going through it, which if I listen to it now, I'll probably be thinking, oh my God, why did you share this? But I truly, like, I believe in sharing this stuff because I think everyone kind of goes through blocks at certain stages. And I've always said, I've always been very true on here in I'm sharing this journey with you. And that was the whole purpose of this podcast. It was never about following the advice from the experts who would always tell me or tell their audiences, never share when you're in the moment, always share the transformation afterwards and how you got there to show like what is possible. Whereas I truly believe that I do want to show that in the moment. I want to show the patches where things aren't going according to plan, because when you can listen to somebody or speak to somebody or hear from someone that is going through it, where maybe you are as well, you know that you're not alone. And I never want to kind of hide that part of me, because if I'm going through stuff and I'm not sharing it with my audience, that just doesn't feel in alignment to me. It doesn't feel authentic. And I'm here to share my truth and to empower other people and to know that entrepreneurship or even life in general, it's not always about rainbows and sprinkles and unicorns, is it? We go through these shifts. Now, going back to the issue I had, it triggered me because it made me feel rejected. It made me feel like I'd been cast out. And we all know from where I've been talking about your nervous system, subconscious mind, how our brains are literally wired to keep us safe. And we are literally looking at every single situation we go through as a life or death situation. So in that phase of time where I had literally been told by a friend that basically our friendship was over, I then immediately tried to fix it, because as the firstborn, which is another thing I want to talk about on a future episode, I'm a firstborn in my family. I'm the eldest sister. And that in itself carries a kind of a sisterhood wound, in that when you are born, you take on the role of you're the eldest sister, which means you take on the responsibility of caring for other people around you. So when you have that next sibling, you are responsible, you are a leader, you are literally that overnight. So when your younger sibling comes along, you're the lead, you've got to lead, you've got to look after other people. It's your job to do that. So we're talking about taking on that responsibility when you're like a year old, 18 months, 2 years, whatever that may be, but a tiny, tiny child. For me, it was 18 months. So when I was 18 months old, I became a big sister to my brother. So I was then the responsible one. I was, from that age, I was still the baby myself, but I was taking on the responsibility of caring for others, of keeping the tribe together, of being the caring female in our family. And following in my mum's footsteps. That is what the generational path is of a woman. It is in us to be like that. Not everybody does. And a lot of that comes through hurt and past trauma and all of those kinds of things. It's like a protective thing. But for the majority, it is our job to care for our child, and our daughters take on that responsibility themselves. Anyway, I will go more into that in a separate episode, but I just want to share, when this happened for me last year, it took me months to feel safe again, because in that moment I had been cast out from essentially my tribe. This friendship was over, this friendship where I trusted this person, to then hear things that had been spoken about in rooms I wasn't in, not in a good way. All of this was literally confirmation that I've literally been cast out. I've been pushed out of rooms that I was in, because of negative things that have happened from one person. And at the time, I truly believed it to be that this one person had made me feel like this. And it was almost, whilst I always knew, because I was going through a healing journey anyway, I always knew that there was an element of it that must be me, but I didn't realize quite how much. So the reason this triggered me so much last year was because I am the elder sister. I am the caring friend. I am the one that does put everybody else first. I was a people pleaser for the majority of my life. So when somebody had messaged me to say that they'd been hurt by my actions, which I'm still not sure what that was, but that massively triggered me, because I then wasn't doing my job. I hadn't done my job because I'd actually upset somebody, I'd hurt somebody. And because of that, I'd then been rejected and cast out from my essential tribe, as far as my brain is concerned. And it meant that I then wasn't going in rooms. It meant I wasn't showing up to my fullest because I was so triggered. And what if she's spoken to that person? Or what if they believe that about me? And what if all these what ifs were coming up? And it almost made me step back ever so slightly in what I was sharing. And it's really interesting, because I would say in the last month alone, I've kind of had this like energetic clearing from all of that happened. And it's from me understanding where that actually came from. It was actually bringing up a wound from my past, and not even my past. It was actually generational past of abandonment, of not feeling loved, of not fitting in with the tribe, of being pushed out of your tribe. That literally happened in my like generational past. That was literally something that happened. It wasn't like a brain thing. It physically happened to somebody in my like generational past. So when this occurred and I had been cut off essentially from this one friend, that brought back memories that weren't even mine to have. They'd just been passed on because our beliefs, our emotions, our experiences, our thoughts, but like everything, it all gets passed on to future generations. So what we believe, we become, and we pass that on to our children as well. So the very fact I have become aware of where that actually stemmed from, why that hurt so deeply, it was always about me. It was always about how I was seeing things because my brain was protecting me um, from being like killed, basically. It was protecting me from death because that is how our brains are wired. And the reason I'm sharing this today is I've now come out the other side of that journey, of that experience, of that healing, of that process that I've had to go through. And it has taken me, I'm trying to think how many months now? Like 8 months. It's taken me about 8 months to get fully through that, where I'm at a point now where I actually feel at peace with everything and I feel confident and I'm not like holding back. I'm obviously still holding back in certain areas, which I'm not even sure what that means or where I'm holding back because I'm still tapping into what my full truth is. Downloads have been coming in, definitely thick and fast. Like I will literally be in the car and I'm voice noting to myself because all of these things are coming up when I'm not at my computer or working with a client or doing the kids or whatever it is. So when you allow this space and you've healed, so I have now learned this lesson that actually that situation that happened for me was all about a process that I needed to go on to learn who I was on a deeper level. And anyone that's watching this is just going to think, if you haven't done this work or you haven't experienced this kind of thing, you just think, oh God, this is a bit deep. Like she is seriously traumatized by this thing that happened. Like just get over it kind of thing. But actually, had I not have done this healing journey, had I not have worked through it, identified where that even came from, where these beliefs came from, where my actions and thoughts and everything like came from, um, I might have experienced this again in the future. Whereas now I've almost broken that cycle that I've got this awareness. I know where that comes from. So next time I'm triggered by somebody, instead of me almost shutting down and going into that protective, I need to save myself because if I don't, I'm going to die. Like I can now see where it's come from. I can understand where it's come from. And it means that it's going to allow me to process things differently and take perhaps different action. So for anybody that is going through a difficult time at the moment, maybe you have fallen out with somebody, maybe you've had a client where it's just not worked out and things haven't gone the best way. It happens to everybody, just so you know. There's always going to be at least one client that you've worked with where things go a bit sour and you have a difficult thing that you have to go through. It's part of entrepreneurship. It's not always the light. We need the shadow in order to be light leaders. That is what it's all about. It's embracing the shadow. We've got episodes that talk about shadow work, and it's such an important part of your journey to feel those emotions, to allow them to come up and not try and hide. I think as women, we're so good at burying our head in the sand and kind of having conversations with our safe people, but not actually having a conversation with ourselves and understanding who we are, where it's come from, what our truth is. And to know that we're all on a like a really good path. We're all born as pure beings. Nobody is born a dickhead. It's just past beliefs that come up that make people's actions and decisions maybe trigger other people. And it's just, we are all different. But I heard something from one of my good friends, Laura Guy, today, and she said, the healed heal and the hurt hurt. So if anybody upsets you or triggers you or does something that just really makes you kind of want to hide, step back, just crawl under a rock and just want the world to swallow you up, usually that's coming from a hurt person that hasn't done the healing themselves. And it hurts more when you are doing this work, when you are a natural healer, when you are somebody that is naturally wearing your heart on your sleeve and you genuinely want the best for others, that can trigger you so much. But then it also allows you space to do more healing on yourself, to be a even stronger healer, and to not allow this kind of negative energy to dictate your own beliefs about yourself and your thoughts and actions. So always allow these experiences and emotions to come up. Is part of the journey. We are all going to get triggered at some point. We're all going to go through experiences that feel really uncomfortable, but you need the dark in order to sparkle. Like, you cannot have those sparkles, you cannot have that light, you cannot have those rainbows. Like, you need to have darkness in there as well. So embrace the lows, embrace the difficult stages, as difficult and challenging and horrible as they are, and you just want them all to be over. What can you take from it? So anyone that is listening to this today that is going through a really challenging time, whether it is in business, whether it is with a relationship, whether it's a person, what is it making you believe about yourself? So if your business has slowed, if you're finding clients or leads are going to somebody else with half your expertise and it's making you feel uncomfortable, if you are getting told no for opportunities, whatever it may be that has made you feel uncomfortable and like giving up and like, is this even worth it? It's made you feel horrible, like you're crying, like all of these emotions coming up. What I want you to do today is get a pen and paper, or even voice note if you feel happier doing that, whichever feels best for you, and get it all out. Like, how is this impacting how you feel about yourself? Just literally let the pen flow and get all these thoughts. So just get it out. Like, if you need to go and scream outside, like whilst grounding yourself, like go and stand on some grass, like just get this out, because the more you kind of hide it in to protect yourself and maybe only share it with a couple of people, the more you're burying your head in the sand. And you need to be able to protect your own energy in a really kind of holistic way that isn't going to be damaging for you moving forward. And the more you can do this and lean into the darkness, lean into these challenging moments to learn more about yourself, to allow you the strength to better yourself, to improve for going into the future and having more confidence. And I truly believe that this work is something, it's a tool that we all need to learn how to do. It's something that we used to learn how to do. We used to know how to do, but we've been taught in society that, oh, we'll just get on with it. It's kind of like, particularly as girls, we go through stages when we're at school where we fall out with our friends and, oh, she did this or she stole my pencil, like whatever these things happen. And you are literally told by your teachers in those moments, oh, just get on with it. Don't leave it. Just leave it. Like, it's fine. Just crack on. Like, just stay away from them, that kind of thing. So we're literally programmed from that very young age to just ignore it. Just ignore those feelings that come up. Just ignore the fact that it's upsetting you. Like, ignore. We're literally told to do that throughout our entire childhood. So it's no wonder when we become adults and we go through essentially the same thing, just in a very adult way, that we don't know how to deal with it because we've not been given the tools to be able to deal with it. So I just felt really cool to share this today because I have come out the other side of this journey now. It's taken me along much longer than I thought it would to get here. And actually, to be honest, I didn't actually think I would get to this point. It's just in the last couple of weeks, I've felt this lightness of that chapter is like done. Like, I've learned what I needed to learn. I've understood where that's come from, and it's raised that awareness in me that has allowed me to support my clients. And I've actually supported one of my friends today that's going through a similar thing. And it's just making sure it's not you. If you're ever in a challenging situation that has triggered you, it's not you, but you are allowing those thoughts to come in to make you feel less than, or to trigger you, or to make you feel angry or frustrated. Just allow those feelings to flow, but process them. Like, try and find a way that works for you, that you can just package those emotions up, bottle them, and just get them out. So it might be through movement, it might be through Pilates, it might be through having Reiki, it might be through somatics, it might be through literally brushing it off, like just getting it out, shaking it out of your body, because we need to feel these emotions and we need to allow this to flow through us to be able to move on. So I hope this has helped somebody today that may be going through this challenging time. If you know anybody that is also going through a challenging time that will benefit from this episode, please do share it with them. I feel so passionately about this work because I am absolutely no expert in this field. I'm just sharing things that I have personally been doing that have helped me to become a more confident woman in every area of not just my business but my life as well. We need to get rid of all those layers of crap that we've taken on around our very soul that is hiding us from just showing up as our full truest self. Like there's always more layers. It's new level, new devil. And even this week I've discovered that I'm not fully expressing myself, and I don't even know how to fully express myself because there's obviously still so many layers of crap that I have got that are covering my very soul. But if I can just share my truth and experiences and anything that's going to help somebody else as I go through those layers myself, then I have done my job. So yeah, hope this has helped you today. Please do leave a review if you've enjoyed this episode, and I'll be back for another episode next week. Have an amazing weekend, and I'll speak to you soon. Mwah.